From Deloitte Tax, welcome to the Tax News and Views podcast. In this series, we talk to specialists from Deloitte about the latest business issues and developments. I'm Carrie Falkenhayn, your host for Tax News and Views. And today we are recording another special policy update with my frequent guests on tax policy topics, John Traub and Anna Taylor from Deloitte's Tax Policy Group. So last week, President Biden delivered the State of the Union address, where he made several comments about raising taxes on the wealthy as well as corporations. This was followed by a budget release on Monday of this week, where taxes also played a large role. Anna, what were some of the key items around tax that Biden talked about last week and had in his budget of this week?
Well, there were some oldies, but also some new items in his package this year. He takes the corporate rate up to 28%. He would increase the new minimum tax to 21%, as well as the GILTI rate to 21%. He still includes his billionaire minimum tax and increases the excise tax on stock buybacks up to 4%. And he has an expansion of the executive comp deduction denial for any salary over $1 million, currently limited to key executives.
John, are any of these likely to go far in Congress this year?
We generally don't think so, Carrie. Look, this is mostly a campaign document setting out the Biden administration priorities for what he would do in a second term if he is joined by Democrats controlling the House and Senate. It generally should be viewed more in that line than as a short-term governing document. There are always a handful of ideas, though, that could get through the process even in divided government. And the one Anna and I have watched most closely is the idea of raising the excise tax on stock buybacks. I don't expect any scenario in which it would go to 4%, but I also could see a scenario in which the parties agree on some lower amount, 2.5, if Republicans were getting some other policy win in exchange for including that. So, but for the most part, no, this is really about building a statement of priorities in the second Biden administration.
And this kicks off the FY2025 budget, but we are nearly halfway through FY24 already, and that spending process still isn't over. So what's left to be done, and why is this important for the tax community?
Well, now, half of the FY24 spending bills still need to be passed, hopefully by the end of next week, to avoid a government shutdown. Congress did pass the first half of those bills last week, but those were the easy ones. So stay tuned to see what happens on the spending front over the next week. More important for tax is that there remains some hope that Senate Republicans' objections to the House-passed bill that extends Section 174, 163J, bonus depreciation, and the child tax credit expansion might be cleared up by the end of next week, and they could maybe get added to the next spending package. And if not, I think that it's likely that they'll get some form of consideration on their own in the Senate if they can't make it into the spending bill. But stay tuned, because there's still more to come on the tax front in the weeks ahead.
Well, that would be very interesting to our tax audience. So, John, what are you hearing on that?
Yeah, there certainly remains a lot of interest in many sectors in trying to get the House-passed bill through the Senate. But as far as I can tell, at least, the barriers that have held it up so far, including objections from Senate Finance Committee ranking Republican Mike Crapo of Idaho and others, remain in place. I don't see today a clear way for his objections to be dealt with in a way that produces the necessary Republican votes to pass the bill. Remember, we don't have the luxury of budget reconciliation, meaning any bill that passes the Senate is going to need 60 votes. And with only 51 Democrats in the Senate, you need at least 9 Republicans, if not more. And at this point, they don't appear to be there. I do agree with Anna. Hope springs eternal that maybe those objections are overcome that allows this bill to move forward either as part of the next spending bill at the end of next week or sometime thereafter. But so far, at least, I'm not seeing evidence that those objections have been cleared out.
But it sounds like there's still hope, right? So more to come, as always. Thank you both for providing those insights. And thank you, audience, for listening in. As I said, there's more to come. And if you'd like to subscribe to the email version of Tax News and Views, just go to Deloitte.com and you can sign up there. And I hope our audience joins us next time as well. Be well, everyone. Take care.